last type of structures, this is called as a purl type of structures. Already we have discussed ribbon interlock, and our third structure is called as a purl structure, and it is also very powerful purl structures in a knitting technology. And the technology is a very rare useful is the purl structures, and purl is a very least commonly used weft knit structures, and why, because it is a very high cost, very high low usable of weft knit structures. Okay, it has little commercial and apparel end uses. For example, that is the simplest purl structures courses marked one consists of reverse loop stitches, and course marks to consist of all face loop stitches. Like this, the figure shows that one totally upward lines are in the face side, and secondly total lines are in the back side, and third one line is called as a totally in the front side of the legs. Depends upon the structure. The course and veils are very hygienic and more probably used in the knitting machines type of machine. Purls compared with rib. In purls as faced with reverse course as knitted in alternate courses, the purl structures creates more extensibility in lengthways. In rib structures, small the force, and one is the total line is face, and one is facts, and one is back, and face is one is face and one is back. After the second line it comes back first and another face. But in purl structures, totally face upwards line starts from face, and second line is totally backs. This is a comparison of the purl and rib structures. In rib structures, 1:1 rib structures, face and reverse veils are knitted alternatively, and structure creates more extensibility in width way. Why? Because the fabrics will be comparatively least, so the very extensibility in width way. In application of purl structures, the children score rapidly in their fragment agents, where the extensibility of the fabric is desired in the lengthwise. Why? Because the purl structures are in their totally diapers, and usually for the children's born, like more sweaters and ear marks and totally head marks. And purl knitted structures are best suited for infants wears, socks, girls sweaters, sports wears. And sports wears are also very carefully by using of purl structures with rib structures. The most commonly useful for the purl structures are very disturbances. The symbolic representation. eh, The symbolic representation is craft paper representation is on his face and on his back. The figure shows that the zero symbol is called as a face, and the back cross mark is called as a back formation. The diametric representation. The requirements of the knitting machine, as the successive courses are knitted in the opposite directions. It is necessary to draw a loop towards, say, the front of the machine for the first corset, and towards back of the machine for the second course. To do this, it is necessary to have a needle with a hook and latch at the end of the needle. The speed of the machine and the production is much less compared to other knit fabrics. As it is knitted on a coarse gauge machine, the coarse yarn can result in highest production by weight. Why? Because the speed of the machine production is very less, as well as the coarse gauge machine also very highest production. And the features and properties of purl structures. It is the simplest purl structure, each veil consisting of face and reverse loops. Semicircle of needle and sinker loops are seen by both face and back sides of the fabrics. Due to reverse loops, it is reversible in appearance and has soft hand with a full cover. Its thickness is theoretically double, so that like knit fabrics, It can be unrolled from either end. It does not curl at the edges because of alternate phase and reverse courses. It is balanced structure which property is useful in cutting and sewing. Why? Because the fabric alternate phase and reserve courses of balanced structures properties is very useful, and simplest form purl structures consisting of face and reverse loops, semicircle of middle sinker loops are seen in the both face and back side of the edges. And why? Because in this purl structures the figure shows that one up and one down, one face and one long of the four shows the rib structures of the reverse courses are knitted alternatively courses, and the future end of the futures is called as very embracing of uses of the socks, goal setters and sports wears. Goal setters is usually for the only while playing the sweaters, and socks are daily uses, and sports wears are also very useful for the mainly attractive purposes and very essential for daily wear also, the sports wears, and it is very capable to do more things of the purl structures, and it is a very graphical representation requirements is very high latch machines as compared to the weft knitting machines, and it is very terrible to use the highest low commercial peoples, and they are usually high commercial peoples only use the pearls such as why? Because the sports wears and students high-fi hygienic and very low cost is not there. Very high cost of the pearl structure fabrics are produced. It is very hygienic fibers and very uh, more definitely useful for the fabrics. This is the rib structures characteristics and features and properties of the rib structures. Thank you.